Hello, and welcome to my RTSL game versus Bidart, who is a player I have faced twice, and our head-to-head score is a 1-1, so it seems like it might be an interesting game. And what we get is a secure for VPs from Middle East scoring, so let's just go for it. Hi, good luck. Unfortunately, defectors will have to wait. Since I have Nasser in my hand, there is basically no way for him to stop it, unless he uses distal, but he wouldn't risk it without defectors. Socialists are a bit scary though. What do we have? Warsaw, Korea, Arab Israeli. It seems that I may be able to hold on to UN intervention. Because none of the events is particularly scary, except for Nasser, but Middle East is gone already. But maybe it's worth to use it for Nasser anyway, I guess. Alright, he will coup Italy, I imagine. With the China card. Okay. That sucks. But at least he spent the China card for it. Alright, what now? France is up for grabs. He surely doesn't have NATO, but I would have to spend Warsaw Pact for it anyway. The alternative is to ignore France and just go for Pakistan and Malaysia. Because if I want to grab France, I will have to not enter Malaysia and not go out of Iran. But if he's so weak that he has to use the China card to coup Italy, maybe I don't have to rush with exiting Iran. Maybe I can just afford to grab France. Of course, if he has blockade, then I will have no discard, but the hand I got is so weak that I probably can't play around that. Also, Suez Crisis event sucks if I just go to France. Well, I guess then Arab-Israeli war won't be so threatening, so let's say that's a payoff. However, I would like to avoid that anyway. I'm using Warsaw Pact anyway, regardless of what I do, but I think I have to capture France. Maybe I could risk it if I had a good discard to blockade, but the thing is that if I give up France and then get blockaded, I could actually lose to Europe control on turn 1, which would be a nice meme, but not a fun one for me. I can also just space Arab-Israeli war, since I don't have a good space card. Alright, at least he failed that. That doesn't leave much room for discussion. I have to play like that. Of course, it sucks if he can just play distal now, or decall, or Vietnam revolts if he has them, and just grab Thailand. But the thing is that you can't really fight decall or distal to Thailand anyway, because I don't even have a playable free op. Yeah, of course. So that's unlucky, but that's not something I could prevent with the ops I got. I can fight for India, of course. I can't fight for Thailand, really. So I can use this opportunity to at least try my chance in Korea. And of course fail. So one goes to South Korea, and I guess one goes to Malaysia. Okay, this game starts in a really poor way. Maybe I can score a quick DEFCON victory. Okay, so this is kind of ironic because now I could actually grab Thailand. He left it open for me, but I'm so poor that I can't. Alright, so there is an option of playing Nasser for event and then queen Egypt. But that allows him to enter Angola. I don't know how much I care about that though. Oh. Maybe I should just do something like that. Yeah, looks reasonable. Of course, entering Thailand with 2 ops would be preferable if I could afford it. But with Arab-Israeli war in my hand, I pretty much have to enter Lebanon at some point. Hmm. I'm not sure if I should quit it. Wait, okay, sure. You had Asia, so you didn't want to give Japan to me before you scored it. That makes sense. Okay, now he doesn't have time to go to Zaire before the end of the turn. However, I still don't know if it's a good idea. I want to keep UN intervention, I think. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I just don't keep UN intervention. Maybe I use it with Nasser and then it's fine. I guess that sounds reasonable. Hmm. Okay, maybe let's just grab that and see what he does. So now he can't enter Angola, of course. If he doesn't coup, then I will coup and get Milops. And if he does coup, I will enter Angola and of course give him a good coup target, but kind of force him to coup Angola. Or maybe I just don't enter Angola and then he has problems with queuing AR1 next turn. But if he gets CIA or I have line back, that helps him. Ironically, Asia, yeah, of course you had also blockade. So yeah, I am definitely giving you that. Mm, okay, so I guess I will coup now. Do I go for Iraq or do I go for South Africa? What matters is only if I kick him out, and I'm not sure which option is preferable. Probably from South Africa because it's harder to get back there by cooling, and he can coup Iran to get back to Iraq, so I will cool it. so that's an interesting game. Mm, at least I got Purge this time, so I guess I will use it, because what else would I do? No deck and no 5-year plan, so there is no way I win by Defcon. But I get some decent ups. Capture Nazi scientists to get back on track with VPs. Swiss Crisis, which is probably holdable until next turn to make it less of a threat. But I can also resolve it, especially if I get Marshall. Or I can space it and hold in the Pakistani war, because that's also a viable hold card. Especially if I capture Pakistan and India, that would be important. I could also, yeah, that's reasonable. And that kind of looks like a blockade, but not necessarily. He also needs European non-battlegrounds. But if I were to guess, that's a sign of blockade. Come on, come on. Okay. Am I entering Colombia? Okay, so here is the thing. If he doesn't have Distal, I'm happy. If he has Distal, I'm kind of screwed. So I think I will play, assuming he has Distal, which means that I will enter Colombia and Angola to not let him cut me off of Zaire. And maybe actually that's all I need now. So maybe I will save some ops and just do that. Yeah, let's go for it. Of course, there are many places that I need to put ops into, for example, West Germany or South Korea, but there is no way for him, for example, to capture West Germany in one move under Purge. Yeah, of course he had it. And if he went to grab South Korea, then he would allow me to take Venezuela. I'm afraid he had this now, just as I expected. So now I'm playing NATO, and the question is, do I try realigning him out of Venezuela, or do I break Venezuela with NATO? If I break Venezuela with NATO, he probably just grabs Brazil. And I get Venezuela, he has Brazil. And that's kind of sad, but whatever. If I try to realign him, I have great secondary realignment targets, but it's very risky. And there's also the chance that he doesn't have good cards to grab Brazil with. So I guess I could just try it. And thanks to him being in Cuba, I kind of have more tools to force him to give me new ops. For example, by going to Nicaragua. The question is, will I have enough time to do that? Okay. That's very interesting. I'm tempted to just grab South Korea with China now. That's complicated. Okay, I'm not giving him the China card. I don't know where CIA is, I don't know where 5-year plan is, I don't know where Duck and Cover is. So I'm surely not going to give him the China card. And if I'm not playing the China card to South Korea, I may just as well not go to South Korea at all. So I will just go to Costa Rica to threaten Cuba. Of course, what you see from me here is a very aggressive playstyle, because I would, yeah, like to remind you about the Europe situation, which is still pretty dire. Alright, so let's just go to Venezuela. Or actually, now I can afford to use capture that's scientists. I don't need to rush with Venezuela. Firstly, because he probably can't use enough ops to capture it, and secondly, because he would need to uh, allow me to realign a lot of his ops on favorable lots. Alright. So, interesting. Containment is of course another piece of very bad news for me, but now it poses a question of what to do. So I could either use in the Pakistani war for event to get mill-ups. This is probably the safest way. I could resolve Suez Crisis, which is kind of a crazy way. I probably don't want to do that. Or I could play in the Pakistani war for ops and, for example, realign Cuba. But that doesn't give me new ops. Yeah, I guess I should just waste containment and get new ops and fail the war, because why would I? Can I not get a CIA at least? Never mind. But to be fair, the rest of my hand is pretty decent. So it could be worse. He got the goal, Vietnam, East European unrest, 5-year plan, and the Marshall Plan. Tons of plans in his head. Will I let him to Angola? I guess I will. Because that means that I will get to realign Cuba. Let's go for Purge. And he got decall again. 2 purges versus 2 decals and 80 stall. Not a favorable trade from my perspective, but I will have to live with it. So what's that? Probably just African battlegrounds. I don't think he wants to do anything with Southeast Asia, unless he breaks laws, but okay, he does. And he goes with the goal. He goes Panama with the goal. My goodness, why would you do that? That's such a weird move. Okay, that was so unnecessary. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit confused. He needed to roll what? A5 to make that work? In Angola, he only needed 1. So, in Angola, literally anything would work. Okay, but I will take that. So, how about I just do this? Or maybe I don't even need to put 2 into Uruguay. I just need one there, one there, one there, and one there. Of course, I know he has tools to grab Argentina, that's for sure. But maybe he will give me something nice for it. A Marshall Plan, East European unrest perhaps. I will not complain. Of course, the Algeria move is its goal is to threaten the Saharan state's entrance. So this time I won't let him get away with not letting him through. Not cheaply, at least. Okay. Now, if he has if he has Asia scoring, I think I want to do that. I want to do that at some point anyway, so I can just as well do it now. I'm using the China card because I don't have enough ops to do it in a more civilized manner. Of course, I'm not complaining about the hand overall. Oh no. Okay, that's good enough. So now we may start realigning. Unless I want to get something more. What would be my perfect secondary target? Zaire is pretty good. However, if I kick him out of Zaire, that doesn't give me anything. Algeria is risky on the other hand. Maybe I want to enter Saharan states first, actually. So let's do something like this. Like this. I wonder if he actually has Asia scoring. Because in theory, if he had it, he would do everything exactly as he did it. But if he didn't have it, he would probably also do it the same way. So there are just not many arguments to point to any side here. Oh, I didn't actually think about it, but I could have entered Tunisia as well. That would be interesting. Maybe that's my bad. Maybe I should have done that. That's interesting. Okay, defectors. So he has 5-year plan, Marshall, and Vietnam revolts. Okay, do I realign now or do I enter Tunisia? Let's realign. That sucks. That makes sense. Okay, now let's enter Tunisia. Maybe now he will coup. I want to hold special relationship because if he gets NATO and plays it, I want to event it, of course. What do we do? Vietnam or 5-year plan? Probably Vietnam. He would love to discard something nasty. And both Americas look potentially dangerous to him. Asia and Middle East are not great either. Africa will probably be on his side, but if I get nuclear subs, it can turn really quickly. Alright, so I guess let's realign now again. Okay, that's one, that's two. Let's try this. Unfortunate. Alright, Middle East. So, having Libya helps. Nuclear subs, potentially a game changer. Junta, a great event, not sure if I can use it properly. But perhaps I can. This Middle East scoring really doesn't help. Because I will need a lot of time to make use of nuclear subs. But maybe I can make it work. Ops aren't great. Events are better. However, I probably won't use John Paul, for example, as an event. Neither will I do that with Cuban Missile Crisis. I will need all powers I can master to make use of nuclear subs. Weirdly enough, the good thing about Cuban Missile Crisis is that he didn't get it, because this is one of those rare games where it would be really problematic for me to uh, to unlock my ability to coup. I will probably grab Libya on my AR1. So let's just go for Junta. Alright, that makes sense. Okay, that worked. So I imagine he will now try to take care of South American situation. And while he does that, I will just grab Libya because why wouldn't I? Unless he has South America, which would weirdly enough be a very bad thing for me, because then he would know that he can just discard it with 5-year plan and he doesn't need to worry about lack of presence there. Because according to him, I could theoretically have it, unless he has it himself. And if he knows that I don't have it, then he can, for example, coup Tunisia. And that becomes a really annoying thing if he does that. Oh, you give me that event. Really? Alright. I will take everything you give me, sir, in that Middle East. Maybe that's not a bad thing that I got the Middle East scoring. I didn't expect to get Camp David Accords though. That's a pretty surprising gift. Now I suspect he will want to coup Nicaragua and rebuild his Cuban presence. Oh no, he plays Nasser. That's pretty harmless actually, that's just 1 VP, because that's not stopping my domination. And that means that whenever Sadat comes, Egypt will come back to me. Unless he has Muslim ref or something like that, but that's not a problem anymore. Middle East is gone. So now I can focus on, yeah, that's Nicaragua. Yep, that's fine. Uh, Putting one influence into Costa Rica is tempting, but I think I should just event nuclear subs and go with the flow. This West Germany will just stand empty like that for the rest of the game. Well, not empty, because I will give him a Willy Brandt in just a second, so I guess he will have influence there. China. He breaks something. France, perhaps? No, India. Yeah, that's reasonable. I would do that if I were him. I don't care though. Let's go for Nigeria. That's funny, even if he takes India, it doesn't give him Asia domination yet. Uh-huh. Now it does. I think it's a mistake by him that he didn't grab Vietnam. Because now I am doing that. I don't think that's a good move. I will just do something like that. People often forget that Vietnam is actually available for the USA when Vietnam Revolts is gone as a discard. It's just so counterintuitive that I, as the USA player, can actually put one influence there and have a free non-battleground. Okay, that's really good for me. Hey, yeah, let's just use special to... Whoa! Come back. That's really convenient for me because I can use special to Kuzair and get another decent roll. That's something. So the situation on the board changed pretty dramatically. Okay, he uses that for an event, so he won't even get the millet he wants. That's nice. And so if I am able to do that, then why not let him have his South African arrest, and then if he enters Angola, I can quit. And if he goes to Botswana, then I can do something more productive. For example, for example, take Costa Rica and Uruguay, West Germany, Pakistan perhaps? Maybe Pakistan actually. He took the China card back, so now that's a vulnerable place. Alright. And this is another hand with no 4-ups and another hand with some decent events. Brush War is nice, especially with no flower power on. Nixon is maybe nice. Our man in Tehran is very nice. It's potentially huge. It really depends on what he got, but that can be a great card. Both of the scorings are pretty good. That's nice. And One Small Step is a pretty good card too, because he may have a lot of cards he wants to space, and One Small Step is a perfect counter to that. So I really can't complain. And that is annoying, but having one annoying card in hand is not a reason to cry yet. What's my headline though? Brush War in Thailand looks so juicy, but it probably is not the correct play. Maybe I should just headline Africa scoring. What breaks my domination? ABM does. I mean, ABM theoretically can, but that would be a wasted ABM. However, if he headlines Che, that sucks for me. And it doesn't matter which scoring I headline. So perhaps it's either Nixon or our man in Tehran. Maybe I want to wait with our man in Tehran a bit longer, so that I know more about his hand. So maybe it's Nixon. However, I don't have many cards I want to play for ops. Maybe I just take the risk and headline Africa scoring? Oh, actually Portuguese Empire crumbles also breaks it. That sucks. But if he coups Angola, do I have tools to fight for domination anyway? Theoretically I could in some... No, I think that's weird. I have two scorings, I will go for Africa and Lone Gunman is probably not enough. Oh, I mean, okay, it's actually enough. He just has to coup Saharan states and not get a 1. So I guess that's something. But well, if I get only 3 VPs instead of 6 from Africa, it's a fair price to pay for lone gunmen being gone from the deck. And that's basically the reason why I said that I'm not sure if I want to headline our man in Tehran, because that's one huge reason less to play him. However, I still may do it later. We'll see. And he knows my hands, so he knows about one small step, brush war, and so that America scoring, and Nixon from important stuff. Alright. It would be funny if that was a one. Oh my god. Okay, that's very lucky. That's very lucky for me. Okay, I'm so glad that was a one. Oh, that lone gunman didn't do anything for him. Except giving him information, which may be huge, but that one was exactly what I needed. And he has NATO. Okay. That's brush war angle, I would say. And that hits. Nice. Alright, so now South America looks pretty secure. All my battlegrounds are overprotected, so even ABM isn't an obvious solution for him. Let's check. Okay, so that works. Let's grab Brazil, grab Uruguay. I should do something about Europe, come on. Let's go to West Germany with at least one point. Of course, I went to Uruguay because I really don't want to spend time fighting for my South American domination. I want to be ready to respond to his threats, so I don't want to have only one non-battleground taken. Now, if he wants to break my domination here, he basically has to have Che. If he doesn't have Che, I can just score my domination. NORAD, alright. So I would say that's a generous gift, but that smells like quagmire. We'll see. Do I want to go for Mexico first? Probably. Mexico is a battleground I want to take sooner or later anyway. Probably sooner than later. And he may just as well have Central America in his hand, so why would I risk allowing him to take it? The situation in South America didn't change a bit. Yep. Liberation. Can I still respond to that? Probably, and I probably want to do it even more now, and I think I prefer one small step in my hand over Nixon. Actually, the main threat now slowly becomes Europe. I want to secure it a bit more. I still expect to get quagmired, but that will probably happen on AR7. Not yet. When it comes to European events, socialists are somewhere in the deck. The goal is present on the discard pile. So theoretically, Europe is still in danger. But, so those would be the possible good targets for our men in Tehran, socialists and Europe scarring. Oh, that's a very good use. So of course it kind of makes sense because he may have many blue cards he doesn't want to play, And he can't really space them since he knows I have one small step, so now he will just discard them instead. No. But that means that I will not use Europe right now. The question is, do I fight for West Germany or do I overprotect France? I think I can fight for West Germany a bit. And is free. Here's 5-year plan and they blew 2 up, that's my guess. 5-year plan and like Voice of America or grain sales to Soviets or something like that. Or colonial rearguards, but he failed. That's nice. Okay, so let's just continue my fight for West Germany. Yeah. And what do we have? He actually didn't have Quagmire. Alright. I have it. With 2 bad scorings. But he's still in Bear Trap. Which helps. Alright. So Quag will be my hold card. Suez will be my space card. And grain sales will be my headline. Makes sense. Brezhnev. Annoying. Comic-Con. Okay. Sure, resolve it. That's not a very bad grain sales target. Alright. What do I want to coup? Probably Angola with a 2 up. So I guess, or Algeria maybe? Maybe Algeria with a 2 up. So I guess I will use that to go for West Germany. And then he will discard something, then I will coup Algeria with a 2 up. Or maybe Angola is better actually. Wow, he stays that for a little bit longer. I don't think I will change any of my plans. Yeah, he's understandably sad, except I will actually go for Algeria. I can allow myself to be a little bit greedier since he failed that role. Alliance is an interesting discard. Whoa, Jesus. Okay, that's actually pretty damn unlucky for him. That means I can probably just secure Europe Joe actually, and there's like not much I can do. Or do I, maybe let's use arms race first, because I will probably, it's not obvious if I want to play it for ops. Will I be able to event it? Let's see. The biggest price I can pay for playing U2 first is 1 additional VP if he has UN, so that's acceptable, I guess. Okay, I hope my useful tips help my opponent win more games in the future. I love being a useful comrade for my Soviet opponents. I'm sorry. And now he has Che, so that means arms race is off limits. Alright. Whoa! Okay, so that means I am not dropping Asia right now. I'm securing my situation on the board first, and I am doing it like that. Of course, the Paraguay entrance is to protect Argentina from realignments, and overprotecting Angola is because he may have Portuguese Empire crumbles, or he can just take Angola over with a 3 or 4 up card. The question is, does he take Asian domination now? Because if he does, then I guess there's not much I can do to stop him, realistically speaking. Of course, with this play, I pretty much made it nearly impossible for me to fill Canada this turn. Because I'm holding Quagmire, Eventing Sadat, and... Oh, Jesus, what did I say? I'm probably spacing Suez. Yeah, Eventing Sadat, and so on. That's a reasonable play by him. I guess I'm just paying the price of me trying to hold on too many things at once. But after he rolled, what? 6 in that Uruguay, I pretty much decided to protect Argentina and hope that he doesn't break my Asian draw. That's the price I was willing to pay, so I'm paying it now. Portuguese. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's get Egypt. Let's get Egypt. And he has 5-year plan for his last play. Which is a 4-up. Looks like South Africa, 2 to Saudi Arabia, and 1 to... Oh! 2 to Greece. Alright. That makes sense, of course. I will just space Swiss. And see what happens after the reshuffle. Okay, he knows I have Muslim, and he has Missile Envy, and also Salt, so that's pretty annoying. He also has Socialists. It's not obvious to me for which option he will go. If I had line voice, can I make coup and no go for him? Will be hard, but it's possible. I think I have to try. I suspect he will go for Missile Envy, of course, because he knows I have Muslim Revolution, so why wouldn't he get it? Yeah, let's break Thailand and deny him Iraq presence, I mean Middle East presence, and let's get a temporary Central American domination. This way I'm hinting at a lot of things. Of course, now with Missile Envy I can't really take Thailand right away. I will just put 2 influence there and force him to respond to it. East European Unrest would be a great hold card, but I probably can't afford to hold it. With UN in my hand, it's just too big of a waste if I play UN for 1-off. Makes sense, and he probably takes Thailand. Alright. I will crew now to protect Angola, first and foremost. And Egypt is just a good enough target. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. So now he can get Middle Eastern domination. He will surely take Libya and probably Iraq since he's already doing it. Now OPEC becomes surprisingly problematic, but it's not like I could have done anything better with it since I was forced to play Miss Landy. It's just pretty unfortunate that he got Miss Landy. What is the state of the battleground count? Okay, he gets the domination. This is still available. Okay, I have +2 here, +1 here, +3 here, so that's 6. -1, 5, -1, 4, and -2. I have advantage of 2. That's a pretty solid advantage. Let's do this. The reason for this play is twofold. First part of it is, of course, I'm breaking a Middle Eastern battleground to deny him one of the points he would get from OPEC normally. And secondly, if he grabs Libya, then he makes my Reagan bombed Libya card in the late war stronger, because now it would give me 2 VPs. And thirdly, I guess, he may be convinced that I have Middle Eastern scoring, since I'm putting a lot of pressure there. Oh yeah, and as you see, he doesn't want to give me those juicy VPs from my bombing of Libya card, so he even allowed me to just take Libya. So that's why this play was a pretty good one, I think. And I got away with OPEC pretty cheaply. I will get my kitchen debates VPs soon, and I have to fill Canada this turn. I would prefer to do that after he plays Socialists, because he still holds them in his pretty hand. And that's annoying. Okay, he took all base, well, that makes sense. Now I can score the VPs from kitchen. He spaces that, I'm not spacing anything. Actually, I don't think I care that much. If he wants to even Socialist, he can do it. Of course, that's something I have to answer. Probably by just fixing everything. And now he will probably coup with something he has. He has OAS and 1 more card. OAS is not even that bad for him right now. There's little I can do. Probably the best thing for me would be to just go for Peru and set up some sneaky realignments on Chile. That's not gonna happen. Okay, that's really creepy, but also it's kind of nice that he didn't get Milops. here's the goal. Alright, what do we get? Jesus, what a hand. Not necessarily in a good way. Not necessarily in a bad way either. Hmm. South America is promising. Unfortunately, I will probably have to risk headlining it right away, because with 3 scorings in my hand, I don't think I can afford to not headline any of them. So let's go for it. Suez, okay. That's not something that breaks my South America scoring, so that's nice. And now what do we do with Middle East and Asia? I hope that my active NORAD can help out. Soviets are not that good of a headline since NORAD is in play and South Korea is in his hands. Terrorism is potentially decent, but it's basically a roll of a die. I don't know if I want to risk it. Um, Especially if I can discard African scoring, for example, that would be a disaster. We'll see though. Iron Lady is a decent free up. Solidarity, alright. He went from Mexico of all places. And unfortunately, I don't think I can really stop him from grabbing it, since I need to equalize Asia. Shit. Maybe I can do something like that. And if he wants to grab Mexico, he can grab Mexico and let me realign. And if he wants to grab Thailand with China, then he gets it, but then I get Mexico and the China card. That seems like a fair deal. Let's do it. I'm kind of afraid of this play, but... but we have to be brave. So let's do it anyway. Solidarity is gone, unfortunately. Alright. Tear down this wall will still be a useful event. For example, if he grabs France, getting him out of there will be a useful action. It's curious, I wonder what he will do with the Asian situation. That was a really suspicious move, because if he doesn't have Central America, why would he coup Mexico instead of Angola, like ever? This is just a bad idea. Or maybe it's not actually. Maybe his point of view is that if couing Angola doesn't necessarily give him advantage in Africa, and I still can get domination by the battleground count in Africa, then maybe he just wanted to risk Mexico. But that's just such a weird move. It's so counterintuitive, because he needs exactly a 6 to, like, get it from me. Okay. Puppets. He has to have a really shitty hand. Does it mean that I should use terrorism, or that I shouldn't? That's the question. Okay, I think I will do something like that. And now I will probably grab Mexico. But shit, I don't know. Yeah, actually, I will do a pretty weird looking something in between move, but I really don't buy that he has a strong hand after his first 2 moves. So I think I will just secure Thailand to make sure that I really get Asian Joe this time. And place 2 VPs into Mexico to make it harder for him to get it if he has a weekend. That's my point of view. AWACS. That's not a really good information for me. Okay, since I need to get Milops anyway, I will do it right away and I will just coup something in Central America to cancel his domination, at least temporarily. Actually, Apex is maybe not as bad of an information for me because now taking Saudi Arabia looks like actually a viable option. So let's drop Asia for free. Okay, he got rid of colonials. I got rid of Asia. Shuttle diplomacy. That's actually interesting. So that means I will get Middle East domination if he lets me score like that. Okay, I will take it. I suspect he will now score Central America and I will score Middle East and will get... Whoa, wait, really? Okay, that's interesting. I will just break Mexico. It really looks like he has CIA. Like, there are not many better explanations for what is happening. Maybe it was obvious earlier. Maybe I should have known that. He goes for France. Okay, I'm scoring Middle East anyway. And if he goes for France, then, well, that's cool. I will try to set up, turn down this wall realignments in there. We'll see how it goes. Oh yeah, of course. And he's discarding... What is he discarding? African scoring? Probably. That sucks. 5-year plan not really doing me a favor this game. Alright, so let's set that up. And let's set this up. Makes sense. And he actually didn't have Central America scoring, that's interesting. And he didn't have CIA. 2 bad reads in a row. Alright. That's curious. I have to defend Europe somehow. Third down this wall sounds like a good start. Tuck and cover looks like a decent play too. It denies NORAD though. Junta, I will be able to use it in a good way anyway. Third down this wall is strong later on too. Maybe I just go with Junta? Or Duck. To protect Panama? That sounds weird. Let's go for Duck. Brush war. Oh no! What is his target? Libya, Panama, Argentina, Thailand, Nigeria? Probably one of those. Pakistan maybe? If he has Iran-Iraq war? That would be interesting. Thailand, alright. So that's a final scoring-oriented play. Makes sense. And liberation, alright. Um, sure, buddy. You can have that. Um, alright. I think it's ABM time. Perhaps in Mexico? That's very annoying. But it happens. That's a very good play by him. Unfortunately for him, he missed. I will wait with tear down this wall a bit. I think I want to bait him to spend a little more ops before I go for Europe. Because if I use tear down to realign France and I do it successfully, he will need 4 ops to repair France and East Germany damage I did. I could also actually try to coup Greece with it. That would be fun. Probably not the best play. Because he can just fix everything by going for Turkey and East Germany with free ops. And even if I roll a6 there, it doesn't help me. Oh, Marshall. Wait, he doesn't take Turkey back. Okay, that's interesting, that's interesting. Suddenly it's not as obvious anymore. Suddenly I have more options than I thought of. So now I can do something. Okay, I have to be quick. Okay, let's go for this now. And now I will try to realign France. Sucks, but works, and that works, okay. If he gave me Marshall Plan right now, he probably doesn't have many cards with high ops he's willing to give up. Yeah, sure. Take my Iranian hostage crisis. What? I will take France for that. That actually helps. I didn't expect tear down this wall to help me this much. Okay, defectors again. And I will just drop Europe for only 1 VP, which is not a bad result. Now I will probably try spacing South African unrest, because that's a card that I surely don't want to play for us. And then if he allows me to event in the Pakistani war, I will, and if he doesn't, I will not. Chernobyl on AR6. Curious. Alright. I Actually, oh, you know what we will do? We'll do something like that. We'll block Africa, let him resolve South African unrest, and use it to capture Panama. And he won't be able to get Angola before next turn. What does he have prepared for AR7? But he wants so badly that he played Chernobyl now. I'm not sure what's going on. 5-year plan was gone. Nuclear subs are gone. Ah? Why didn't you play it right away? What the hell? Okay. Oh! That's interesting. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Do I get rid of Evil Empire too? Probably not, because it's always 1 VP. So I guess I will just do that and get that. And win! Yay! Okay, so now final scoring looks pretty good. And after I use Alliance for Progress, it will look even better. And I can probably do it right away, because Central and South Americas will probably not get much better, so let's go for it. Maybe I can try to win on the VP track before the game concludes in the final scoring. That's pretty annoying, but that's the risk I took. Okay, so I have arms race. If I hit the space track, I have Star Wars to get war games. Ooh. I'm afraid I have to grab Mexico though and do it ASAP. NORAD is huge this game, and I will be able to use it once more after I use Glasnost. If I will have to use it, we'll see. China. Oh, just tries to force Mexico. Shit. I don't have a good response to that because I don't have good cards to play. Unless I give him Pershing. Maybe I just give him Pershing. And let him take France if he has enough ops. Please, sir, go for it. I guess in the worst case scenario I can give him Chateau. He had Central. So this is the time to space, and I fail. Alright, so I'm not winning by Star Wars into war games, that's for sure. Alright. So I coup Angola with Glasnost. What's my NORAD target? Okay, that's fortunate. Okay, Angola is my NORAD target because I rolled a 1. I guess now my priorities will be realignments in Panama and Chile. I don't think I have anything better to do. I could of course overprotect Mexico and France, and I actually grab France in the first place because it's open. I guess I could fight for equalizer in Europe. Do I want to do that though? Realignments in Panama seem to be better. However, I'm kind of leading, so maybe there is no need to take the risk. On the other hand, I don't have a... Oh, I would really like to have that card in play, and I would really like him to not have hit that. Whatever, let's realign. Wow, that worked surprisingly well. The thing that I was going to say is that if I had a free up, I would probably go for Europe because I could take Benelux and France in one move, and then it would be problematic for him because then I would have a draw in Europe already. But that's not going to happen because I have no free ups. So I just went for realignments and they work pretty well. Actually, they worked exactly as good as they could have. Do I want to discard something? I probably actually don't want to discard anything. Because actually my hand is more than enough to win this game. And in my last move I will like take Panama and France, that's all. In my last move I will not take Panama and France. In my last move I will take Japan and Panama. GG! That was a pretty long and exhausting game. But I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and I will see you in my next video.